video you're going to see I posted a long time ago. But with the missing scientists, I think it's more relevant now than it ever was before. It's a very long video, so if you get tired, save it and come back to it. But it's important that you watch it. There's a lot of good information in there. Please don't be deceived. All right, the next step, allegedly, this is just for entertainment, is space weapons. And the illusion that we need it or else.
Unless you've been living under a rock that's way far from Earth, you probably heard that there's a lot of alien disclosure, a lot of alien sightings going on. I thought it important to maybe go way back to the beginning and discuss how we ended up here. See, Wernher von Braun worked for the Nazis back before World War II ended, as a scientist, as a rocket scientist. After the war ended, the United States brought him over to work with NASA, the newly formed NASA, and he was one of the leading scientists for rocket development. He actually created the V-2 rocket. So did he create NASA? No. Was he extremely influential and important to their growth and to sharing the information to the mass public? Yes. And listen to what his assistant had to say about the whole thing.
The strategy that Wernher von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in 74, they were the enemy, the identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. But he said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was asteroids. Now at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids. Against asteroids we're going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over, during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Cal, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. He didn't mention a timeline, but he said that it was going to be speeding up faster than anybody could possibly imagine. That the effort to put weapons in space was not only based on a lie, but would accelerate past the point of people even understanding it until it was already up there and too late.
That's an old recording, but it does seem familiar, doesn't it? Here's a transcript of what she said in case you wanted to screenshot it for yourself. I also find it interesting that in the 80s a game came out named after a super secret society of people that shall not be named and don't exist, but might. They'll never get it. Even when the saucers are flying overhead and we have saucers surrounding a church and the card's name is Church of Middle America. That's really interesting, isn't it? So while so many of you argue against us using the very information that you're being deceived with, all we're trying to do is wake you up. And for those of you that think that Wernher von Braun wasn't religious, didn't believe in God, you're greatly mistaken. And I'll leave the video here with him in his own words.
Where does the desire for ethical action come from? What makes us want to be ethical? I believe there are two forces which move us. One is belief in the last judgment, when every one of us has to account for what he did with God's great gift of life on the earth. The other is belief in an immortal soul, the soul which will cherish the award or suffer the penalty decreed in the final judgment. Belief in God and in immortality thus gives us the moral strength and the ethical guidance we need for virtually every action in our daily lives. In our modern world, many people seem to feel that science has somehow made such religious ideas untimely or old-fashioned. But I think science has a real surprise for the skeptics. Science, for instance, tells us that nothing in nature, not even the tiniest particle, can disappear without a trace. Think about that for a moment. Once you do, your thoughts about life will never be the same. Science has found that nothing can disappear without a trace. Nature does not know extinction. All it knows is transformation. Now, if God applies this fundamental principle to the most minute and insignificant parts of his universe, doesn't it make sense to assume that he applies it also to the masterpiece of his creation, the human soul? I think it does. And everything science has taught me and continues to teach me strengthens my belief in the continuity of our spiritual existence after death.